All right, everyone. I am super excited for tonight's call, and our guest is hopping from another call onto this call. So I don't see her quite yet, but I am sure she'll be here in a minute. So as we're waiting for Laura to arrive, I want to just go over a couple quick things with you guys. Our team calls are going to be changing time. So I want you guys to mark your calendars. I'm hoping most of you have this as a recurring call every single Monday night. We have got next week. I've got a great call planned with some young people that will be amazing for you. And then the week after that is Memorial Day, so we'll take that night off of calls. But first Monday night in June, we're going to go to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to move it up 1 hour. So all of you East Coast people will be able to get to bed a little earlier, hopefully, and be ready to go. And then and it'll be a little easier because we have some conflicts with later calls. So just note your calendar that the first June meeting will switch to the 8 o'clock time frame. And I see Laura is on. I'm so excited for
Hello.
hello. Call to call to call to call. So that's how we operate.
Okay.
All right. Well, I am going to introduce Laura, and here's a couple things I absolutely love about her. When I was asking her, do you have a bio? Give me some information so I can introduce you. She's like, I'm not quite into that. I am the same way. When people ask me, I want people to speak from the heart. Speak from the heart about me. And so I'm going to speak about Laura from my heart. And ever since I met her, well, I didn't meet her for a long time. I just would see her on stage. I would get to hear her talk. And even though I was at Top Achievers with her, I never had the opportunity to really meet her and get to know her until we did a Super Saturday event together in Atlanta. And honestly, I'm not someone who's starstruck and giddy like that, but she was someone that I was so super excited to meet because, I always tell you guys that it's really important the 5 people we surround ourselves with. And so often the people I surround myself are people I listen to. So it may not be people in my every single day life, but it might be the people I'm watching podcasts from, I'm following on social media, and I follow her and I love everything that she stands for. She has 4 children, I have 4 children. She's a faith-filled, beautiful Christian woman. We just have a lot in common, and I've been so drawn to her for the beautiful person she is, not only on the outside, but on the inside. So when I had the opportunity to train with her in Atlanta, Georgia, I was so thrilled. We got to sit next to each other. I got to talk to her and pick her brain. And when she agreed to get on a call with us, I was so excited. So I've been talking about this for weeks, Laura. And
I love you.
getting
Yay.
so excited that you're here today. So I just would like to start off by thanking you because I know how busy you are, and I know the demands on your time are absolutely crazy. Plus you have 4 little ones. Mine are a lot older than yours. So I really appreciate that you're giving up 45 minutes to be with us tonight. So thank you.
You bet. I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy. And I loved hearing your story. I loved learning about you. So it was such a gift for me to get to know you. And I love sitting next to you and your sweet husband and all that you've done. And look at these amazing teammates you have on here. And they're all smiling so nice. And thank you for welcoming me so nicely.
Absolutely. Well, they're excited to hear from you. So I want to start at the beginning because we have a lot of people that have been with me for many years and some of our top leaders here today, but we also have some newer people that may not know your story. And what I'd love for you to share is, I know you are enrolled with Kelly Dickerhoof. How are you friends with her? And then tell the story because you didn't join her right away. You watched her for some time. So share that because I think people get discouraged if people don't say yes right away. And you're a perfect example of that. So if you don't mind, start off by sharing that story a little bit with us.
Of course. Yes. Thank you. So I'm a retired military spouse. I guess is that what you can call me. My husband was in the Marine Corps and we had just gotten stationed in Spokane, Washington. And I walked into church. I was pregnant with my first child and I saw this blonde lady standing there signing up for Bible study and the same that I was. And she had a pregnant belly too. And that was actually Kelly. So I had learned over time as a military spouse and moving so many places that I had to kind of be bold about who I wanted to be friends with and just put myself out there. And if someone looked nice, try to find a way to connect with them or go out to coffee or go on a play date or have dinner or something to start, making a friendship happen. And so I thankfully requested to be at her table after she walked away, and her husband has a shaved head. So I totally thought that he was in the military too. And I was like, yay. It's so funny. But so we just clicked. We were both newbies to Spokane, and she was pregnant with her third. I was pregnant with my first. So she kind of helped me through that first season of motherhood and that first really tough year, getting used to all that baby stuff. And we were just friends. I had no money in the sense that we had one income. We had a lot of debt. I was doing everything I could to get that debt to go away. So Kelly would actually do my hair in her kitchen sink. She was a hairdresser. So I would go over there and we would just dream, and we would make our skinny margaritas, and the kids would run around, and she'd be dyeing my hair in her sink, and we would talk about what we wish we could do. And her husband was super busy in corporate America, working a few jobs and always traveling. And so we were just kind of both there for each other in a harder season. And then she was sitting next to Janny Elo on an airplane, and Janny introduced her to Isogenics, just the products. Kelly ordered a 9-day and felt so good after that 9-day that she's like, she told some of her friends and, contacted Janny and said, I have some friends that want to get that product too. How should they order it? Can I come pick it up at your house? And Janny hadn't even told Kelly about the business. And then so she told her about the business. And at that point, Kelly it was like a light bulb went off in her head. She's very entrepreneurial. And so she just went. And she came to me at a Memorial Day barbecue, a family barbecue, and said, I just started Isogenics. It's, I'm feeling so good. It's kind of a system thing. I want you to do it with me. You should do it with me. And I have celiac disease, so I was eating fairly healthy and had a pretty bad taste in my mouth from network marketing and the military wife life, and just said, no, thank you. I want nothing to do with that, but good luck. And I'm like, go talk to John, because he was doing this caveman diet at the time or something, for the military. And he was just like, I like my protein. He was getting Costco protein or something. He's like, I don't need to try this. So we watched them for 3 years. And I actually referred my little sister had tried it through Kelly at some point. Some of my best Army wife friends have joined Kelly. So I saw what was happening through social media, but it was really hard at first because she just kind of disappeared in our friendship. And now I know why. After starting this business and getting that light bulb too, I totally get it. But she was on a different path. She was growing. She was changing. And I wasn't. And I think so often, I just want to caveat this by saying, sometimes when we start this business, people are like, oh my gosh, you've changed. Or, you had that person sit you down. It's like, you've changed. And I realize now that when people change, it is something to celebrate. And you guys just rally around each other when people say that, because of course you've changed. You're realizing there's a whole new way of living. You're dreaming bigger. You're thinking differently. You're operating completely differently. And that's what's needed to be successful in this business. So when people come to you and say that, you've just got to embrace it. And if anything, it might surprise them, but be like, thank you so much. I know I've been really working hard at changing myself, because I think that was something that if I would have been, that pouty friend in the corner feeling like I missed the boat and saying, well, she always does all this stuff and she's not calling me as much, and, made her feel guilty, and she would have stopped, I probably would have never even started. So I watched her for 3 years. She was going down to Top Achievers in Southern California. And I picked her up from the airport because I was living there at the time. We'd moved a couple more places. And I had done some research to figure out what network marketing company I wanted to join, or if I wanted to bartend. I was just done. I had turned 30. I was really unhappy. We never could travel. We were always fighting about money. And I finally just said, this has got to change. And so I took her to lunch and I said, I'm ready. I think I want to join you. And I think her jaw hit the table. Like, she had no clue. I didn't even hint toward wanting to join her or anything. And I started bawling, telling her why we needed this so badly. She looked at me and she said, I can tell that if your why makes you cry, you are going to do so well in this business, Laura. And so I just went from there. And that was 3 years after she started.
Now, did she
keep kind of a long story?
No.
I'm sorry.
That was perfect because there's things I heard there that I hadn't heard before, so I
Yeah.
love it. For the 3 years, did she keep dripping on you, or was it just you
Not
followed
once.
her on social? Okay, so you just watched
And
her.
we've gone back and forth on that. Because there's some times where I'm like, Kelly, why didn't you just be like, because she just wasn't that forceful of a person. I think it was that we were close enough friends that she didn't want to ruin the friendship by pushing this. But there are times I think back, even just 6 months earlier after I'd had Juliet, if she would have just said, Laura, let me just send you this. Like, let's just try. Actually, she did send me the shakes while I was pregnant with Juliet. She sent me a vanilla canister and a chocolate canister. And I thought they were so gross. I made them in the normal way I made smoothies where I added spinach and chia seed and almond butter. I couldn't even drink it out of a straw. And I was just like, ugh. And that's why I'm so careful to barely ever send samples, because I feel like people don't make it right. I wasn't making it right. And I automatically judged it from my first taste and just was like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to think about.
Okay, so I know you were doing all kinds of little things to make money at this point. I remember hearing you say you sold things on Etsy.
Yep.
So had you ever done network marketing, or you just did some entrepreneurial things?
I was just entrepreneurial. I started a sewing business. I taught myself how to sew. I watched YouTube videos and I taught myself how to sew. So I had an Etsy business that got me through my pregnancy with Juliet. I mean, I was sewing around Christmas time till 1 a.m. to fill personalized apron orders. I was the girl at the store that coupon. I had my big notebook with my baseball card things and all the coupons in it. I remember going on a run in Spokane with Albertsons where I saved like $200 and got so many light bulbs and cans of soup. And I couldn't even eat the soup because it wasn't gluten-free. So we ended up donating it. But it was just so fun for me to do it. I sold things on Craigslist. I always bought things used on Craigslist. I sold things on eBay. I was an aerobic instructor. I've been a substitute teacher. I had done everything I could to just try to make some extra money.
So your life has completely changed since I saw Phoenix.
Yes, very much so. I could go to Babies R Us and pick out the glider I wanted for this baby instead of getting it on the free sign on the side of the road, which is what I did. And I painted it and I cleaned it and I reupholstered it. So it's just so funny to think of. Yes, our life has changed a lot.
So you were hungry, and that's really a key point, because you really, really wanted this. All right, a couple of questions that came in from my team, and then I've got a few more of my own. When you have customers, someone was asking, how often do you touch base with your customers? Do you have a schedule for that? Like, how do you keep track of your customers and client care?
Sure. So I am very, very into bringing in business builders. And that's how I've been from the beginning. I'm very bold about the business. I never really bring in a customer without telling them about the business. So everyone, I feel like, has in the back of their mind that they want to maybe see if this product will work for them so that they might want to do the business. So I kind of base things off of when they order. I do a open the box call, which is when they get their box. I really try hard, or, like my neighbor down the street just ordered. The minute she got her box, I went over there and just wrote with a permanent marker how many times she should take things a day, make sure she's taking 2 scoops of shake, all that kind of stuff. And then I like to draw out you plus 2, them plus 2, or you share, they share, whatever we're calling it these days, for them to show them at least how to get their products paid for. But usually I go into associate manager, director, executive, or associate consultant, manager, director, executive, to kind of just lay out the full bonuses that are available. I don't even ask them if they want to see it. I just kind of say, let me get a piece of paper real quick. I have something I want to show you. So that's my first kind of touch after they order. And then I like to know when they're starting. So I'll just kind of text and be like, when's your first day? And, like, yay, it's your first day. If I think about it. And then if they're communicative with me, I don't know if you guys find this, but I have a lot of people that just kind of do it. Like, they aren't asking very many questions. They just kind of take off. And you're like, whoa, you did a cleanse? You didn't even tell me, And you have those other people that are a bit needier and, I can't do it. This cleanse tastes horrible. I have a headache. I feel like I want to throw up. And you're like, get some fresh air, all that stuff. but that's kind of not as often. I feel like I find a lot of self-starter people that are they just go. So I do like to check in with them on day, 5 to 7 to see, have you done a cleanse? How are you feeling? And then at that point, I like to try to say, I'd love to help you do a Facebook post. I bet you have some people in your life who would love to join you in this. If they weren't willing to do a Facebook post after signing up, I like to try to maybe have them do one at that point. And then after that, it's kind of, I'll usually touch base again before the end of the month, but that's about it. And then I just kind of always have a running list on a whiteboard. That's why I keep looking up that of people that I'm ready to touch base with to see if they want to become my next consultant, or just to follow up with, and I have a follow-up system for prospects. I don't really have a follow-up system for people that have already joined me. I let either contests or, push weeks or different promotions Isagenix runs to kind of just dictate and motivate me to contact them again.
That's awesome. Okay, so when you're creating consultants, because obviously if you're talking to them right away, you're probably building a lot of consultants. What do you do if you've got someone that has enrolled several people, maybe 5 people, they show great potential, but they're not really wanting to build towards executive? What do you do to help transition them, to help them go from consultant to wanting to build this and rank advance?
So I am somebody that is not afraid of asking hard questions. So I usually do a little private investigating on their Facebook, or if I don't know them personally that well, try to learn some things about their life so I can help paint a vision or a picture for them of what that extra $1,000, $2,000, $4,000 in bonuses could do for their life. And I will go as far to say, so how much are you making in your job right now? Or, I had a lot of debt when I started this. Do you have any credit card debt that would just be so nice to get rid of? Or is there something that, like, what would an extra $1,000, $2,000, $4,000 do for you and your family? And I let them, and then I'm quiet and I make them answer. I think so often we project what we want to people, but then never give them spur the conversation so that they'll talk more. So it's making sure that you're asking questions that get them to open up a little bit and be a little more real about their lives. And that's why I think it's so important that you guys live authentically and open in your journeys and in your stories, whether it's about, hard issues with food or hard issues with money, or that you weren't dreaming and now you are, that you aren't loving your job, or that you aren't loving how you feel in your skin. Some of that is so personal and at times feels hard to share, but it makes you incredibly relatable. So I think that that's really important. And then I just, there are those people that are product shares and that's just going to be where they sit, but I never give up on them. If we've gotten to a place where they tell me a dream and I know it in my mind, they will always be somebody that I go back to. That's why we are able to make people executives after they've been manager for a year or 2 or 3 years even, because I don't give up on them. And anytime Isagenix does a crystal reset, or again, we do, a contest or a push week, or they just pop into my heart, I'll take time to try to reach out to them and be like, are you ready? I know you can do it. Let's go. I'm willing. Let's get on the call. I would love to strategize how you're going to make this happen. And usually by that point, when they say yes to me, I know they're ready, and we get on and they'll do anything. They're ready.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love, don't give up on people, because I've seen that over and over and over again. And I love how you said you need to be relatable, because that's one of the things I do love about you. I saw your Instagram story just yesterday and how you were being real about Mother's Day.
Yes.
That was me several years ago. And I told Scott, I'm like, I need to have a one-on-one with Laura about that. But I think people are afraid to be vulnerable. And, we always teach people, you don't want to air anything negative on Facebook, and you don't want to post negative, but in the same sense, you do want to be vulnerable and let people know where you were and where you've come from and how far you've grown, because it's really inspiring to other people when they hear that you've had the same struggles they have.
You become more real and relatable. And then what I always try to do is swing it back around to a positive in some way, shape, or form. So I don't leave things, if you notice, most of the time, I don't think I do ever leave things in a negative state.
Mm-hmm.
There will always be a wrap up, or it'll be a lesson I learned and I've already experienced the positive upside to it, or, we're going to get it better, just something to kind of say. And then I just feel like every lesson that we go through, every hard moment, God will use for good if we allow it to be. We just have to be humble enough and allow, sometimes not care about what people think or where judgment will come, to just be a little more real. But what I found is every time I've done that, I feel like people have been able to relate to me on a whole new level, and it just brings people out in a good way. You become more human and more touchable to them.
Okay, another question that came in was, when you have someone who was a business builder, maybe even got to manager, but isn't building and isn't even a consultant any longer, do you bless and release them, love on them in non-ISA ways? How do you handle them? I know you said you never give up on them. So what is your, if they're not, getting on calls, if they're not meeting you halfway, like where's the point where you will bless and release, and how do you handle that?
Yeah, so I've had it for my team. People get frustrated with me and they feel like I'm not giving them attention, or that Laura only works with the runners or the people that are doing good. And it's true. That's literally where my attention goes, and most of my time goes is with people that want it and are in action and are doing good things. I don't have time for people that are whining or feeling sorry for themselves, or coming over and over with the same problems, or at the same rank every year, every week, every month, and not wanting to grow. That's where they are choosing to be. But as Cindy said, she likes to surround herself with people that are, going and having great energy. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to give this gift forward. So for me to do that, I have to surround myself with my teammates that are running, that are going, that are doing big things. And that just is what it is. It's not that I don't love those other people. I find different ways. Sending just nice text messages, still loving on their social media every once in a while. I always think celebration's coming up for some of those people. Why not invite them to celebration with you and say, hey, let's get you jump started. I know the dreams that you had. I know why you wanted this. I would love to help you let this event set a new vision for you and come out new, and invite them again. But at the end of the day, there are so many people out there wanting this gift, needing this gift. And so often we spend so much of our time managing our team, or what was our team, or what we wish was our team, than just finding new people and bringing new people in. So it goes back to the equation where 80% of your time should be spent bringing in the new, and 20% should be on your team. So.
Awesome. All right. So you really are the queen of creating executives, and I definitely want to emulate you on this. And how many are you up to now?
Between John and my business center, we have 26.
26 executives. That's probably the highest, isn't it, in the whole company?
Oh, I don't know. But they never announce it like that. But yes.
Yeah, because they should combine the two business centers. But yes. But that's super impressive. And to me, like, that is more impressive than golden circle stars, anything else, because creating leaders is, to me, the epitome of growth in this company. So it's my favorite part of this business. So I love it too. So what I'd love for you to share is, we have 13 days left for this Rapid Crystal Reset. There's a lot of people on this call that would love that extra $2,000. Have you seen people do it in 13 days? What advice can you give the people that are really, really wanting this extra? It could be more than $2,000, because a lot of people haven't hit their $100 bonuses on all their consultants. So what do you have to say to the people really wanting this?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do, is to pour belief in people at that moment and have them watch them go for it. So I've seen so many people, like I said, go from manager to executive in a week, in 7 days, because they chose. It's a mental shift here. And I will literally do everything in my power to get there. And that means laundry doesn't get done, dinners don't get cooked. Every waking minute that they aren't working or have other responsibilities they cannot get out of is spent, either talking to people at Isagenix, going after it. And that's the time too, you dig deep and ask for help. You reach out to family members and friends and say, I'm running for the biggest goal. Uncle Jim, I know you have coffee at work. Would you buy the coffee starter pack for your office to help me reach my goal? You know, some of those things. Grandma, I know these strawberry shakes, you love them. Can we get you some more? You know, I talked to, I mean, to be quite honest, Lindsay Hopper, she's one of my biggest business builders now. The week I was running for executive, she knew I was running for a big goal. She wasn't in Isagenix with me. She was doing Whole30 at the time, but she knew I had a big goal in my business. So she went to her office and found 2 women that would sign up in her office for me. And I ended up enrolling her and just convincing her to grab some Ionics and a couple other products that I thought could really help her to get her up to 100 BV. We put these 2 women under her that both started with a 30-day system. Lindsay got paid, and she ended up ordering a 30-day after she saw us all at Celebration in fancy dresses at the gala. So it's just so funny how things work. But my sister-in-law came out of the woodworks, my sister and her husband. My dad was doing Body by Vi, and I finally got him to switch that month, that week. So it just is, when you have people that love you and you are an honest, nice person, there will be so many more people that will join to help you than to help themselves. And I know that sounds crazy, but you and I both know that when they get these products in their body, they're going to be blessed. So it's a, I don't know, give and take there. But I think you have to really want it and get brave. And then I would say, you know, get some great social media content up to get, you know, maybe do a Facebook Live if you've never done one. Post a full body picture of yourself. I think very, very little people ever on social media will post a full body picture of just them. And I don't care if you have to stage it where you wait till you have a great hair day in the next couple of days and you go throw on the outfit that you feel the best in, and you make your husband or your children or your coworker take a picture with a great angle and a great lighting so that you can post it. Because there is something to say about a person who's confident in their skin. And that's why even women that are still 40 pounds, 50 pounds, you know, left to lose into their journeys, when they post a picture in a bathing suit or in a great dress, that shows through. Even if they're not, you don't have to be a certain size. It's just the confidence. It's the ISA glow. It's the being brave to put themselves out there that catches people's eye, because everybody wants to be able to do that too. Everyone is longing to feel comfortable in their skin. So there's things you can do like that that could get you a little more social media attention. And then I always say you plan out as many meetings, launch parties, and virtual launch parties as you literally can fit in and that people will attend. You do all of that, I know every single one of you can hit executive, no doubt in my mind. It's just how bad do you want it and who's actually going to take those steps to make it happen.
And I think a lot of people are afraid to ask for help because they don't want to make it about them. Yep. What do you have to say to that? Like, they're humble, they don't want to ask for help, they don't want to make it about them.
You are doing your network a disservice, because at the end of the day, you are building this business to bless you. And when you can come out there excited about what it will do in your life, knowing that everyone eats food every day anyway, you will get more people to join you in this business by coming out with that excitement and that conviction. And when you put it like, and this is what I said to people, you know, I'm running for a really big goal this week. You know how badly we have been trying to pay off our debt. If there is any way you would ever want to try these products, if you've been watching and wondering what I'm doing, this is the week. Please let me help you. There is a 30-day money back guarantee. You literally have nothing to lose. Let's redirect some of your grocery budget. And I would love to help you feel as good as I do. So we weave them in there. I mean, with my family and friends, it's definitely like, you know, I need your help now. And they should already know that you're doing this and why you're doing it and all of that. But if they haven't, you need to go back and have some good conversations. Then be brave and do it. I think it's so worth it. And that is how I got some of my biggest, strongest, confident leaders, because I was so bold and excited about what Isagenix I knew would do for me and my family.
Yeah, and you've got that confidence and that, that posture too. And I think a lot of us, that's what we always have to work on, is that confidence and posture. I have one more. I want to set this last question up. So to set it up, how has Isagenix changed your life personally? Are you living in a newer house? Are is your debt
I'll
paid
tell you the
off?
best part. Well, okay, this is a very superficial thing. So yes, I love to give. We base so many of our goals now around how much we can give. And we've done some things that John and I feel are really monumental and exciting, and in partnering with people and companies and ministries that we really believe in. But on a more superficial level, being able to walk into Target and get whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I don't look at prices. I'm not adding things up. I'm like, this is cute. I want all the girls to have matching dresses today. I think I need a new throw pillow, and I don't have to. Before it was, I would get those things and then I would feel so guilty if they didn't have the yellow or red clearance tag on them. And then I would hide them in my trunk from John until he saw the purchase. And then I'd probably end up taking 3/4 of it back because I couldn't justify it. And it was a very stressful cycle. We're just literally being able to walk into Target and getting whatever I want. Just what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Or, not caring. I am somebody who has celiac disease and cares a lot about nutrition. I could not celebrate more being able to walk into Whole Foods and get whatever I wanted. And even if that dairy-free, gluten-free cheese was $11, I could get it, because when I was nursing this baby, I was dairy-free and I wanted lasagna, so I could get dairy-free, gluten-free ricotta. And even though it was like $14.99 or something crazy, it didn't matter. I could get it. Or I could pay to get the more expensive beef for my family because I don't want their to have hormones or, bad stuff in their body. So it's just little things like that, paying to be able to fly our kids places so that they can experience the world with us. That's so exciting to me.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I know that being charitable is such a huge, huge part of what we do. And the more money that we earn and the more wealth we amass, the more we can give. And you do a lot of that with your team too, with a lot of recognition and things. And
yes,
so I know you're giving back to them too. Okay. So the reason I asked that is to set you up for this last question. And that is, we know that anyone who really desires success in this business, we know they can achieve it. So, you just poured belief into everyone. If they really want to hit the Rapid Crystal Reset on May 27th, we know they can do it. What sets those apart from the ones that will achieve it and then the ones that won't? What sets those people apart, the top achievers from the ones that want it but just can't ever seem to grasp it?
What I've seen is that burning fire in your belly to do whatever it takes. I think so often people get trapped in I care too much about what people think. What are they going to say? How am I going to look? And then it's so hard to explain, because I know, Cindy, I know you know this feeling. It's literally like, for me, it was a burning fire in my belly that I almost couldn't sleep. I couldn't think of anything else. I just needed to make this work. And it was trial and error. It was bawling when my brother-in-law returned his pack and his auto ship to make me in the negatives and pick myself back up and be like, okay, what am I going to do next? Or for the first 6 launch parties where I had 0 people show up, redirect. Who can I invite next? What I see is often so many people get so discouraged and go into well, maybe it's not for me mode. Yeah. And the minute that thought even crosses your brain, I could tell you that from day one when I joined Kelly, I knew I would make this work. I did not know how long. I honestly did not care what it took. I was so ready to do anything. That fire was so big in my soul and in my belly to make this work for my family that I was literally willing to do anything to me. And I knew it would be a success for us. We would be a success story. I just didn't know when or how long it would take or whatever. So I think that so often is the minute that even crosses someone's mind, maybe this isn't for me, it's hard to come back from that. You've got to throw those thoughts out all the time and just never even let your brain go there, or you will go there and you'll lean on that as a crutch and use that as an excuse. Oh, maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I'm not just like Laura and Cindy. I'm probably not. Well, you know what? You're not then, if that's what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, you're not. And what you also have to remember is that we have transformed so much as people. How I talked about Isagenix at the beginning is not how I talked about it now. How I did social media at the beginning is not how I've talked about, is not how I do it now. It has been a constant state of evolving, and what can I do to get better? And we just are constantly doing that. So please remember that if you are comparing your beginning to where we are now, that is so not fair for you, because we started just where you did. We just were ready to fail a lot to make this work. Mm-hmm. So I encourage you to just be okay failing, to be okay embracing the journey, and to know that you're just going to have to be the one to pick yourself up, and to have the constant mindset that this will work for me. This will bless my family. What do I need to do next? And to never let yourself go into the, I don't know if it's going to work for me space.
Oh, that's exactly what I say. That's exactly how I feel. And you just can never, ever, when you start to go there, you've got to be able to shift that mindset immediately, because I never have doubts that this isn't going to work for me ever, ever, ever. But I still have some self-limiting beliefs every once in a while that I have to work.
I do too. I understand 100%.
But I think you build that posture, you build that confidence. And when you start to feel the least bit negative, stressed out, whatever it is, probably for you, balancing 4 little ones with all you have. And I know you travel with them an awful lot, but every once in a while you leave without them, and you might have to make some sacrifices. So it's just different. So there's different things that as you grow in your leadership that you'll have to face, but it's being able to have that mindset through it all that I will succeed. There is no other option. Yeah.
And I'm excited for you guys, because I know that, and what's so cool to me is that everyone's story and everyone's journey is different, and that you can change the rest of 2018 right now. Like, you can walk into Celebration being the exact rank that you want. You can take it up on a whole nother level right now. It's all in your hands. And that is the most exciting part of this journey. I always say this business gives you so much grace, because you could just be sitting, you can be, building your belief, building your product story, whatever, and then you can take off. And you have this team that is loving you, that is surrounding you, that is cheering you on, that is pushing you forward. You jump in with them and you really let go for it, and you can be where you want to be much sooner than you probably think. You've just got to step forward and do it. And it starts by literally saying, I will get that executive bonus. And that's why I'm saying these next 13 days can change everything for you if you grasp it and if you go. So I just am challenging you to just go. I want you to come up and high five me at that Crystal banquet in your nice white outfit. And we're going to have fun. And Jim and Kathy always go, and they always dance. That's like one of my favorite events of Isagenix. So do it. Bring your team with you. Get there. Make it happen. And just make this the most epic next 13 days that you've ever had in Isagenix. Why not? Why not? Dairy-free shake should be coming back by Thursday. We have bedtime belly buster stuff coming up. I mean, this summer is beginning. This is the time. You have so many people in your lives that need this gift. Go give it to them. Go.
And that's a beautiful note to end on. Laura, I can't thank you enough. You are fabulous. I love you. I love you for who you are. You're just amazing, and I can't thank you enough. All kinds of comments are coming in. And what I do is I post the recording in my business page, and then I'm going to highlight all the comments and send them to you tomorrow, because I want people
thank you.
The golden nuggets they took from our call tonight. But thank you for being who you are, for such an abundant heart that you have to pour belief into all of us and my team tonight. We just can't thank you enough.
Cheering you guys on. So excited for you. You are so blessed to be led by this lady. So I know you all know that, but we love you, Cindy. So
love you.
All right, we'll see you at Celebration at the Crystal Executive Banquet.
We have a party just for our executives too, and we already had a whiteout theme before the corporate.
Well, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, they only need one outfit.
There you go.
All right, we'll see you guys there.
Sure.